This is the Rassler Review of Test.
This is a test.
So I'm not going to lie. I looked up some more stuff about Test because after the whole Stephanie thing that went on in his career, I legit forgot about him because I think everyone did. And then I had no idea he went to TNA and was called The Punisher. And I will say, if I would have seen him in TNA as The Punisher, I wouldn't have been shocked that he died shortly after.
So, speaking of tragedy, he was also in the WWE's ECW rebranding, including the main event of, and I'm sorry to bring your mood down again, ECW's December to Dismember.
Yeah, like, I thought we talked about this. We're not going to talk about that again.
We talked about this in the ECW review. We're not going to discuss this.
Listen, like, just that pay-per-view wore on me so much that I had a wrestling hangover just from that. And so hopefully maybe I'll sober up and feel a little bit better after this. But now you're bringing that back in. I feel like I need to take a couple shots because you're bringing up that horrible pay-per-view. Like, that's awful. And here we're talking about Test, the guy who was an innovator of the pump handle slam with Road Dogg at WWF and the Attitude Era. I guess, was it the Attitude Era? He was kind of rise to fame-ish.
I'd say so.
Like, do you think it was his own fault that he got dropped?
At first, I would say no when he was in the Attitude Era, just because when you're debuting in the Attitude Era and you have to compete with The Rock and Austin and, Undertaker and Triple H, so you're obviously going to need to wait a while. At first, no, but eventually, possibly, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was a good dude. I thought he was an upper mid-carder. Maybe he could have been a little bit higher than mid-card.
Yeah, I'd say so. So, other than the marriage with Stephanie thing and the pay-per-view that we will not discuss, the only other two things I remember Test for is teaming with Scott Steiner and then feuding with Scott Steiner. And then his stint with the Un-Americans. I don't know if you remember them.
I know of them. I don't remember that a whole lot. Well, hold on. Now that I think about it, you know what? You said the Un-Americans, and it was something I was unfamiliar with. I don't know. Pull this out of your memory now.
Oh.
Test was involved in the invasion angle.
Yes, he was. I don't know where he fit in, but
he was incremental. I guess, what is it?
We're live, pal.
Yeah, we're live, pal. Let's go back and do that over. Don't get pokey fingers with me, okay? Listen, so he was instrumental in the invasion angle where he was lobbying for people to join WCW for the invasion, and then everyone thought he was the mole and everything. That was a lot after everything had been said and done, and he was the mid card guy and cut his hair, did some roids, the typical stuff.
Yeah.
So here, for the Rassler Review, I'm just gonna run through this so that way we can mention anything we need to mention along the way. We grade each wrestler based off of a few categories. One is moves, that goes with selling and their ability to perform moves to their opponent. Entrance, promo, characters just overall about that specific wrestler, attire, and then lastly their overall for all of them in added up. So for Test, for moves, we've got him as a 5. I think that's fair.
That's fair, yeah.
Was he a guy that could go out there and have a stellar match put together by himself? No. If you put him in a tag team with some other guys, I think he would have been able to hold his own.
If you put him in a tag team with somebody who isn't Scott Steiner in 2003, then yes.
Yeah. There wasn't anything spectacular. I loved his pump handle slam. He did it great. He was a bigger guy. He wasn't necessarily like a huge, like a tall guy, but he wasn't necessarily like I don't know, there's a weird spot on. He's one of those guys that I felt like he unnecessarily stepped over the top rope, but like he could have went underneath it, but he didn't. You know what I mean? Like,
I just have the image of him getting stuck, just like, come on,
like
give me a push real quick.
Right. Like he definitely tippy toes to like put the top rope underneath his groin when he gets in. Like, yeah, I get it. You're just at that weird height, man.
He's at that height where it looks weird to go in the second, but it also looks weird to go over the third.
Why are you going under the rope, dude? And then it's, why are you stepping over it?
You know what? Just log roll under all three.
Yep. Easiest solution right there. Solved it for you, Test. His entrance was a 4. I think most of that is because when you think of Test, I think a lot of people can think of his theme song. It's pretty basic and easy.
It was a test.
Yeah. Promo, can't really think of any outstanding promos, but at the same time, I can't really think of anything that was horrible about his promos. So we rated him at a 4, and the entrance was a 4. Promo was a 4. I don't really have anything else to touch on his promos. Nothing stands out.
Going back to this, when you're in a tag team with Scott Steiner, you can kind of take a guess on who's going to be doing most of the talking.
Yeah. Steiner math.
I was going to say the expert in math.
Yeah.
You take my 22 and 1/3% chance of winning. It's like, Scott, we're at like 140% so far.
Yeah. Nope.
That's not how numbers work.
Scott, there's a lot of things that Scott doesn't know how things work. I actually remember just watching a video where somebody punched Steiner in the face and cracked his orbital bone and dropped him like a sack of potatoes. And I was like, ooh, that was interesting. I think it was during like a Battle Royal or Royal Rumble match.
So I'm going to go back to something you just said. You said there's some things that Steiner doesn't know. And I was going to say, well, he comes from a highly educated university. He comes out and talks. He's got to dumb himself down. Come into a trailer park near you from the state of obesity.
Steiner on commentary was the best. See, this is the thing about Test. We could review Test, but now we're talking about his tag team partner instead.
That's the unfortunate thing about Test.
Yeah.
We can talk about him main eventing a pay-per-view, but we'll be too busy talking about how bad ECW December to Dismember is.
I told you to stop talking about it, man.
Things happen around Test. Test doesn't do the thing.
Get me a little deep, man. I feel a little woozy here.
I think that's the best way to describe Test. Things happen around him, but he doesn't really impact most of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's wrap this up to touch base on that again. His character, we have a 4. His attire is a 5. His overall is a 4.4, and that's definitely fitting with exactly what you just said. He's right in the middle. Things happen around him, and he's just kind of there.
I mean, let's face it, he's no Gilbert, but...
Gilbert. He's definitely, I'd want him in a mid card for sure. He could do your filler spots and put in some pretty cool matches if you needed to. I'm sure him holding the European title. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that title just for that reason, is because it gave you something to watch the mid card guys go after and like put on good matches, and something for them to do instead of just be like these nonsense filler matches. But yeah, I definitely had a respectable big boot. But yeah, watching him as the Punisher in TNA, Man, that was rough. That was hard.
So, getting back to the lighter side of Test, just two more things that I just now remembered. He had a tag team with Albert too. Test and Albert.
Oh no.
You don't remember that?
I do, yeah. Wasn't it something along like testicle or something like that?
I don't know.
I think that was the name of it.
It's the Roman gladiator testicles.
Testicles.
So one thing, this is actually a big positive on Test's part. King of the Ring 2002, he has what I would argue is his best match of his career with Brock Lesnar, of all people.
Interesting.
Yeah, go back King of the Ring 2002 when Brock and Test put on a very good match, surprisingly. It's, yeah, just two big guys just beating the crap out of each other. It's fun.
Well, we see how that worked out for both of those guys.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything more to add about testicles?
I have nothing to add about testicles.
All right. Well, this was a test, indeed. I'm gonna run that joke into the ground the longer this episode goes.
I think that's the cue to wrap it up and take it home. So that was the Rassler Review of Test.